Alrighty, let's see if we are good to go. Alright, we're good. We're live. We are live. Now, the only reason... I can't see the chat right now. Poop. What's going on, Owen? I see you in the chat. But it's not popping up over here. Well, I guess we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way and do it off my phone. Alright, well, that's weird, but we're going to hit you guys with the intro and see if I can't figure this out.
Are you ready?
Okay, so, it's not showing the chat on here. I don't get it. But, nonetheless, I'm going to have to look at it on my phone, so I'll be multitasking. So, basically, what I wanted to do today was just get your thoughts, comments, and concerns about, the NBA draft that happened. If you want to talk about the Pistons, if you want to talk about Zion, whatever you guys want to talk about. NBA Summer League and the Pistons offseason again, because now the Pistons have a little bit more cap room. You know, that trade they did for the 30th pick, they got about $5 million in cash. Taking on Tony Snell's contract, added about $2 million a year, so it should be roughly around $13 million, if my math is right. But I didn't go to college, so don't judge me on that one. But let's see who we got in the chat today. All right, we got Owen, we got Morgan, we got CA3 Sports Talk, the Gridiron Blitz, and Nomus, and that's all we got in there right now. So what's going on, guys? How's your Sunday going? It's a beautiful day outside. Plan on I'm gonna try to go on for 2 hours again, but I have to be off at 12 at the latest. So who knows? You guys can't hear me? You guys can't hear me? Hello? Noam, do you have your volume on, man? I don't know if you got your volume on, man. Oh, let's try that. There we go. Now I can see the chat. No, it keeps going away. Oh well. It keeps coming. It keeps fading in and out. So, if it looks like I can't read, I can't. But it's because my thing's acting up. So, all right. So it looks like you guys can hear me. Let's see. Owen, man, say cool. I can't get it yet. As a steal, he's capable to Giannis. Being an international prospect, youngest in the draft, needs to good coach development, both 15 picks. I don't want to compare him to Giannis yet. Just the sole purpose of he might not get to that point, to be honest with you guys. You know, Giannis is one of the best players in the league, and that's a lot of shoes to fill, a lot of them. Now I can hear myself a little bit. What's going on, Robert? talking about the old game Crash? I used to play that all the time. All the time. This guy can shoot. If you watch him in his highlights, he's pulling up from pretty deep. Now, he did play in France, and the three-point line is not as big as it was, or is in the NBA. But he can shoot, man. He definitely can shoot. What's going on, Micro Mike? Man, if you guys are not subscribed to Micro Mike, I do not know what you're doing. The edits that he puts out there are crazy good. Be sure to check him out. His link's in the description with all DSA members. Yes, I seen that they remade it. I was thinking about getting it. I used to play that man all the time. All the time. He's gonna have room to grow at the 3-point shot, man. Trust me. The dude's only 18, dude. He's gonna get better. Trust me. I think they're gonna put Tony Snell in there to start the 3. I don't know for sure. It's gonna be between Saku. God, I can't say it yet. Don't judge me. I gotta find a nickname for him. But it's gonna be between Saku. God damn it, Drew. I'm gonna try this again. I'm just gonna call him. God, dude, I can't say it. We're just gonna call him the Cyborg because Sekou. Yeah, Sekou. We'll call him that. I lost my train of thought trying to say his name. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know if he's gonna give me starter production, but like scoring wise, he's gonna be a better defender. He's a 3-and-D kind of guy, and I don't really need him to score more than 10 points to 13 points. That's what he averages, and that's fine. We need him for defense. Our perimeter defense is god awful. We just let anyone drive from the 3-point line right to the paint. So if his defense is good enough, that's all I care about because he can shoot. He might not be a lights out shooter, but he's gonna have his streaks where he's gonna be hot. He can't miss, and then there's going to be those slumps where you need him to stop shooting. So I think right now he is going to be the starter unless we sign somebody big in free agency. I don't know. Yeah, Rose Diddy. Summer League's going to be crazy, man. I can't wait. I'm going to try to go live during some of those games, but I think they're on while I'm at work. So I'm going to try to get there. Yes, Gridiron Blitz is correct. I am killing the game. Don't hit the player, hit the game. But, yeah, man, we got to find someone who wants to talk Detroit Red Wings and Tigers. Although I'm not sure how much there is to talk about the Tigers right now. They're pretty booty. If we can get someone like Pat Beverly, our defensive squad will be pretty crazy. Well, Kyle, I think that they're still searching for two things. They're still looking for another point guard and another small forward. Because I'm not sure how much Sekou is going to play this season, being only 18 and a foreign player, because that is a lot to adapt to. But I think point guard is going to be their big go after this free agency. Snell might start, and halfway towards the season, he might get a nagging injury and they have to start Sekou. And then he might take over for the rest of the year. Something like that might happen. But Sekou can play power forward as well. Dwayne Casey said that he can really guard 5 positions. So that's pretty impressive. If you want to play small ball, you can put Thon in at center or whoever you want to put in at center. I'm talking for the bench unit. And play him at power forward, small forward. So, there's a lot of things you can do with the guy. He's very versatile. Got a lot of different attributes that he can incorporate right away to this team. So I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Yeah, we only got about, like I said, $15 million now with the trades. So, you can get a quality guy, but it's more than likely only going to be a 1-year expiring contract. So, I'm not looking for a home run. I'm just looking for someone who's going to be effective. Don't overpay like Stan Van Gundy did. Just get someone who, can produce, whether it's a defensive player, offensive player. You're not going to, steal somebody in free agency. But I like what we did with the undrafted signings so far. What's going on, Benjamin? Yeah, I think the Tigers are about to clean house too, man. They have to. You talking about Luke Kennard there, Benjamin? I think Luke's going to be the starter this season. I really do. I don't know if that's a bold prediction or not, but he is going to be the starter. The thing with Luke, he needs the confidence in the shot. If he can't get the confidence and the mentality of shooting down, where if you miss a shot, the next one's got to go in. You got to have that mentality. Rip Hamilton always said that. I watched an interview with him the other day. I don't know who he's talking to, but the guy was recording him, asking him a bunch of questions. And he said, I might have missed 10 shots in a row, but the next one's going in. And the Gridiron Blitz is coming in clutch with a super chat. Do you want me to put you in my videos for the rest of the week like I do, or what? I don't know. But put this towards your new hairline in 10 years. Hey, man. I'm just going to wear hats if my hairline gets as bad as that. I think you should just save that one for yourself to fix your hairline. But, it's your money, and now you gave it to me, so I appreciate that, man. I really do. That's funny, though. That's funny. That's funny. In 10 years, I won't be as old as you are right now, so... What's going on, Luke? Yeah, I was gonna make a video about that, Morgan, actually. The thing about Drummond, it's weird, because he does have that player option, and there are times he doesn't look like he wants to be here. But, then he does something like, he was here during the press conference for Sekou, and showed the guy nothing but love and support. So that's a leader move. So I don't know, man. Drummond's going to be very, very iffy. I've said it once. I'll probably say it 10,000 more times. I went to Game 3 in the playoffs, and the entire Little Caesars Arena stood up on their feet to boo this guy. So I'm sure, if it doesn't serve as motivation, he's going to want out. But, we take him for granted, I mean, the dude's a beast. He's an absolute beast. This is the problem with him. He doesn't look like he's into it all the time. I don't get it. You think someone that big would want to dominate, and he could. But I don't know, man. I do not know. You want me to do the video about it? I was thinking about it. I'm looking for ideas for throughout the week, so that might be a video coming up very soon. Might be a video coming up very, very soon. But I kind of wanted to see how the Pistons were going to draft before I made it. I kind of want to wait till free agency to see what we do, but if this is going to be a big, big, big thing for the Detroit Pistons, because we got roughly $40 million coming in and off the books next season, and if Andre Drummond opts out, they said it would be towards $70 million. Plus the salary cap's going up almost $10 million, not $10. That wouldn't be nothing. So I mean that's a lot of money. You can get some good quality people for that, but you lose Andre Drummond. So depending on what Andre wants to do, I think we'll know by the trade deadline. Because if he does not want to opt in, I think they go ahead and trade him. So trade deadline is going to be crazy for the Detroit Pistons, because you're going to be hearing names like Reggie Jackson, Langston Galloway. We don't have John Lure anymore, thank God, so we don't have to hear that name around there. But those two names are going to be big around free agency time because, they're expiring deals. And now you have to incorporate Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond might do something where he plays a couple games and says he demands a trade or something like that. I don't know if that's in his character, and I hope it's not. But, the Detroit Pistons have the opportunity, more than anyone else, I guess the only opportunity to offer him the most money since he drafted him. And, Andre Drummond's going to need to ball out this season, because if he balls out, say he makes the All-Star team and the All-NBA team, doesn't have to be the first team, wins Defensive Player of the Year, whatever it would be, you can offer him a bunch of money, way more than anyone else could. So I think his standpoint should just be getting paid. If I was him, you're going to want to ball out this season. So it is going to be interesting to watch. Probably a lot of rumors will be floating around here throughout the season. This might become a distraction for this team. Might become a distraction. I don't know. But, he likes New York. He likes LA. Both those teams right now need centers. I guess Brooklyn doesn't, but, the Knicks do. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I said Tom Gores Andre is his boy, but, Tom Gores doesn't control what Andre does, Like, Andre does have free will. Andre can do whatever he wants. So, they might not trade him. They might let him walk, but, I don't know, man. The thing about Drummond, I can't get a read on him. One day he likes Detroit, the next day he doesn't, so I don't know. I don't know, man. But I wanted to make a challenge with you guys. So I hope you guys are down for this. Right now the Pistons still need to add some moves, add some depth. They still need some starters, obviously. But nonetheless, the Pistons made the 8th seed last season. If the Pistons do not make the 8th seed or higher, let me rephrase that. If they do not make the 7th seed or higher, so if they make the 8th or miss the playoffs, I will go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm going there today at 12. And I will get their hottest wings, just a small size. And I'll have to eat their hottest wings or something. So that's the bet. If the Pistons get the 8th seed or lower, I have to go to B-Dubs and get their hottest wings and try to eat them without anything to drink. I'm not going to get a big one. I'm only going to get a small one. And that's going to be hard because I don't handle hot food very well, guys. I get hot buffalo. That's about my limit. I will probably be in the bathroom letting fire rain out of a certain part of my body. So that is my challenge to you guys. This team had potential to be a 6th seed last season. Injuries played a factor. I think chemistry was off at the beginning of the year. So I think Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond need to step up and do a better job as leaders. But yeah, that's my bet, man. 7th seed or higher. I don't think that's unrealistic. And it's not like I'm saying they're gonna be a top 4. But yeah, man, 8th seed or lower, I will go to B-Dubs and film myself in misery trying to eat these hot wings. So that's my challenge to you guys. That's what I'm gonna be making throughout the year. That challenge to you. I didn't hear anything about Maker. I did not hear anything about him. I'm curious to see if we'll bring him in because I knew we worked him out. I hope we do. If no one signed him, I hope we do bring him in. That you have to order that, man. That's gonna cost me money, like big time money. I'm not sure how much that costs. I'm not saying that B-Dubs is not expensive, but I have to cook the wings and do that. Oh no! If they have it there, I'll do it. If they have like a store around here, I'd do it. But I ain't making the wings. Well, you better drop a super chat then. How else are you gonna pay for it? I'm just playing. I don't know how much that's gonna cost you, man. You gotta figure in shipping and all that. They said John Wall might miss all of next season too. Well, you might want to wait to do that, in case they do make the 7th seed or higher. Because if not, that'd be a waste of hot sauce money. But yeah, they said John Wall might miss all of next season. That's pretty crazy. $20? That's not that bad. But isn't the jar only like that big though? It's not a very big jar, is it? You guys think Melo's gonna go to LA? I think if he does come back, that's a very good opportunity for him. But again, though, he might be coming in off the bench. I don't know if he wants to come in off the bench. Daughter, yeah, you hit it right on the head, man. Right on the head. Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, they about made his mom cry at Game 3. I think next year LaMelo will be eligible for the draft, correct? He will probably be a lottery pick. I think that dude's going to be the best out of all the balls. Obviously, LiAngelo is LiAngelo even in the G League? I don't even know where he's at. But I think Melo's got a chance to be better than Lonzo. Yeah, that's a good point, Rose. I guess I should call you Rose, dude. I don't want to call you Rose, but the thing with the Pistons was their defense. Their defense, they just let anyone walk into the paint and score. We couldn't really stop anybody. It always seems like someone against the other team was always going off on us. So I think adding Tony Snell is going to help fix that. But again, he's not a huge like lockdown defender. You know, he's going to help stop people coming in off the perimeter, but he's not going to shut anybody down. He's just a 3-and-D guy. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what our starting lineup's going to be. So that LeVar Ball thing is ridiculous. PC culture has gotten out of control. Out of control. That is, I don't want to say the word because I don't want to get my YouTube taken down, but it is stupid. Very stupid. I don't think the Pistons are going to re-sign Ish Smith. And I'm not sure what Wayne Ellington's plan is because, last season when the Heat cut him, he said he wanted to go to a contender and he came here. So I think between Wayne Ellington, we have a higher chance of re-signing him than Ish. But he's either going to want to go to a contender. Golden State has an opening with Klay Thompson being out, and that would be pretty nasty. That would be a good replacement for him. Or he's going to want to get paid. There's some teams out there who aren't going to get the free agents that they want. He's going to be a hot name, but I would love to re-sign Wayne Ellington. I said we should sign Ricky Rubio. I made a bunch of lists of my top 5 free agents for every position, and Rubio was at the top of my list. I think he helps our offense and defense. He's not. You're right. He's not a scorer. But right now, we don't really need that from him. We need someone who's going to help set up Blake Griffin and Luke Kennard and Andre Drummond and now Tony Snell. So I love that. But if you get Rubio, you got to move on from Reggie. And I'm not sure what we'd get back in return for Reggie. So I don't know, man. I watch the Tigers every once in a while, man. I used to watch them a lot a few years ago. But a problem with them, they play a lot while I'm at work, and they're garbage. I usually go to at least 2 games a year. So it's always been a tradition of watching the Tigers. I guess right now I like depression watching them. I guess that's the best way I can put it. They just got to do. They just got to. I don't even know what the answer is. But I think Avila needs to go. He has made some terrible decisions in the front office. I still can't fathom over the fact of all the talent that we had and not to win a World Series. That is crazy to me. So I probably won't ever forgive him for letting Scherzer walk and trading away Verlander, who are both killing it right now. Not to mention Rick Porcello went on to win a Cy Young. And who was the other one that did it too? David Price, he went to Boston. They won a World Series. I mean, just the front office, man, it was bad. I mean, you went from having Gary Sheffield and Miggy to Miggy and I just blocked his name out of my head. Fielder. Then you had J.D. Martinez to throw in there, and then you had J.D., Victor, and Miggy. I mean, that's a big three right there, man. And you couldn't even capitalize. Not to mention you threw in quality guys to help, like Ian Kinsler, Torrey Hunter. I mean, you had guys, Jose Iglesias. You had guys in there that could help fill in holes, and you never did anything with it. Not to mention you had some of the best starting pitchers in the league, but your bullpen was always garbage. So I mean, you really let everything slip away, man. You were onto something. Those talent on those teams were ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Osmus is a joke. Jim Leyland could always get us to the World Series, but never got us over the hump. I don't know what the direction for the Tigers is. To be honest with you, I don't have a problem paying Miguel, but that contract was insane. MLB contracts are super insane, but he's earned it. To be honest with you, I mean, anytime you hit a Triple Crown that hasn't been done in almost however long it was, super long time, I mean, you kind of deserve it. I don't have a problem paying Miguel because he is the reason I love baseball. But man, it's hurting. It's hurting, and I'm not. It's weird because you look at most Detroit teams, and we have a hard time getting free agents in here. But it seems like the Wings and the Tigers don't have that problem. Tigers always get a big free agent drawn in here somehow. Maybe it's the culture. The Red Wings, they said, are one of the most recognizable logos throughout the world. So I guess it's that kind of popularity that helps them come here. I don't know. But you look at the Lions and the Pistons, they always have a much harder time getting free agents drawn in here. They have to overpay for them. And it's usually not the case for the Wings or the Tigers. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of staying away from the Tigers because, they tore my heart out, man. What's going on, JMO? I seen you in the chat, but I was going on a rant. I'm with you. That you're on a 4-year timeout. I get it. Rubio has improved his shooting every year. He's not a lights out 3-point shooter, but when he first came in the league, he could not shoot a lick, man. I'm pretty sure I could have shot threes better than he, but he's improved, and he's around 35%, somewhere around that ballpark. So I mean, he's improved. You're right. That's that Detroit mentality. Chauncey Billups said it the other day in an interview with Ice Cube because they were promoting the Big Three, and they asked him what direction the Pistons should go in, and he says they have it all right now. They have the talent. They got 2 superstars in Blake and Andre. They just need to find an identity, which I've been saying that for a long time now, is that this team doesn't have an identity. It doesn't do anything particularly well. Detroit is defense, man. It's not being flashy. It's not about making this highlight reel on SportsCenter. It's about showing up to work every day and busting your butt, putting the hard work in. And they haven't done that yet. I'm not saying that they're not working hard, but it hasn't translated on the court yet, And I think part of it has started. You look at Blake Griffin in the playoffs, coming back the last 2 games and playing on one leg. Oh man, dude, it was crazy, man. It was absolutely crazy to hear the fans cheering for him. They gave him everything that he deserved. So I think that itself right there is a building block for this team to help establish that identity. Yeah, didn't they just trade him away for a bunch of prospects too? They didn't even get anyone back. Al Avila, is it Al Avila? No. I think it's Al Avila. The only one's Alex Avila. He needs to go, man. That dude's a bum. What's going on, Jay White? What's going on, man? Happy Sunday to you. Absolutely right. Defense is our mentality, man. If you can't play defense, you can't play in Detroit. We tried doing that with the Grant Hill era. We had a superstar in Grant Hill, a young and up and coming superstar who, sadly got hurt and never really bounced back from it. But they try to go all offense, and it's just not the mentality. It didn't work. Never worked. And then they moved on from him and started building defense. Got Ben Wallace, and then they won a championship. So there's a move like that out there to happen. It's going to make the Pistons better. Trust me. The Pistons are close, man. Pistons are really close. I can't really say that for certain. I want to see how well he plays in the summer league first. But he's only 18. He's coming in out of a league out of the United States. So sometimes they all can't come over right away and play. Like Luka Doncic is the exception. He came in and started right away. If he does play, he will probably be coming in off the bench on limited minutes. I have to see who we're going to sign in free agency first. But I've loved everything that I've seen from this dude so far. He's already in the Detroit Pistons facility getting his shots up. So anytime you have a guy who's motivated like that and wants to get better, the sky's the limit for this guy. Like they said, man, you got to give him a few years. He's only 18, man. Only 18. So I'm not really concerned about them starting him right away. He has a chance, but it's all going to depend on how much his game translates right away to the NBA. Right away. But I don't know, man. I just don't know if he's going to be able to start right away. He's kind of he's a unique talent. I should say that. The guy's going to be a monster. Absolutely, no doubt about it. The Pistons got to steal. The thing that I'm most interested in him is that he fell to 15 when he was a top 10 prediction. Anytime someone falls, there was 14 other teams that passed on him. That's going to add a chip to his shoulder. He might not sound like he's mad because he doesn't speak English very well, but if I heard him speak French, I would probably assume he was upset. Now, I can't speak French, but, when you're a top 10, you fall to 15, that's going to hurt, man. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Dwayne Casey's going to work his voodoo magic on him and turn him into something good. The thing that really stands out to me is he said that Pascal Siakam was his favorite player, a Dwayne Casey guy. It's all green lights, man. I can't believe we got this guy. I'm happy that we got him. He's only going to get better in an amount of time. If he takes down the Giannis road, Giannis came in, youngest player in the draft, 18, probably weighed 175 pounds soaking wet. And then this last 2 off seasons, he just been putting in work, pumping iron, got bigger, and now he's one of the best players in the league. Not saying that this guy's going to be there, but he's got the potential to be something like that, man. It's crazy. I'd love to have Marcus Morris back. That was my dude. Yeah, I want to slow down comparing him to the Greek Freak, man. I don't like comparing young players to great NBA players like that because they never pan out to it, and that's part of the reason why LeBron James' legacy is hurt because they compare him to MJ. They're not the same players. You gotta compare LeBron more to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson because he plays similar styles to those guys. So when you compare him to all-time greats, and Giannis is a top 3 talent in the league, arguably. Okay, it's kind of I don't like comparing young talent to those kind of players. It never pans out right. Yeah, that was when the Pistons were trying to come out of their slump. And Blake was talking that they needed to be more serious and stop playing around and take these games more serious. And then Reggie came up there and started acting like a goofball. So I don't think it was anything serious. I think Blake Griffin was just trying to insert them. And then after that, the Pistons went on like a really good win streak. So, dude, Summer League cannot start fast enough. I've never been this excited for the Summer League before, man. I'm happy that it's right around the corner. But man, this is going to be an insane Summer League for the Detroit Pistons. I wouldn't be surprised if we blew everyone out by 15, 20 points every game. It's going to be fun to watch. I think the Pistons are going to continue to go after a point guard in free agency. I don't know if they want to go for a starter or a backup. I think while free agency's going on, the summer league's going on as well, and they're going to be experimenting with Bruce Brown, Shaviv, and Kyrie Thomas, Bone, all playing the point guard and seeing how well they do. And one of those guys is more than likely going to be the backup next season. Not sure who it's going to be, but all those guys can relatively play the same positions. So I won't be surprised if our bench unit consists at the same time Shaviv, Kyrie Thomas, and Bruce Brown. Those might be your 1, 2, and 3, and they all might change responsibilities. They all might interchange and play point guard, shooting guard, small forward at different points in time. So it is a smaller lineup, but it could be effective. I would not be upset if our bench goes. I'm not naming positions because I'm not sure which positions they're going to be playing, but Shaviv, Kyrie, Bruce Brown, Sekou, and Thon Maker. That's a pretty solid young bench. A lot of inexperience, but a lot of potential, a lot of talent. They could be a fast-paced team. It would be interesting to watch. But again, it's all going to depend on how well they do in the summer league and who they're going to sign in free agency. Ed Stefanski and Dwayne Casey already know the guys that they're going to go after. I think that they're planning something. They have to be planning something to get more cap. There's someone out there that they think can help them right away. I'm not sure who that is. They haven't released any information yet. But there's someone out there that the Pistons have their eye on. Now, is that person the right person? I don't know. I can't be certain for you. You want Seth Curry? I will not be upset at all with Seth Curry. Seth Curry's unique, man. He's not his brother Steph at all. But, he can play two positions. He can play point guard. He can play shooting guard. He can start. He can come in and off the bench. He's not a crazy three-point shooter like his brother, but he's an efficient one, and he plays defense. If we get Seth Curry, I think that's a win for the offseason. This guy will help us out tremendously. He's never really had an opportunity anywhere else to go to show off his talent. There's an opening in Detroit. I don't think that if we keep Reggie this offseason, that he should just be the guaranteed starter. Outside of Blake and Dre, I should, if I'm the Pistons, have an open competition for any position. Because right now, outside those two, it's not even close. Thon Maker, I don't even know who the official backup power forward is going to be. But no one's close to Blake and Andre on the team. So those two jobs are safe. But, 1 through 3, they should all be wide open. Even though we're paying Reggie, he shouldn't necessarily be the starting point guard if we keep him. So Kelly Oubre, I wouldn't be mad with Kelly Oubre either. But I think, where did he go? He went to Phoenix. If I was Phoenix, I'd resign him. I just don't know how much, Ish, if his three-point shot got a little bit better, he could be a bottom-tier starting point guard. The dude is probably one of the most underrated, fastest people in the league. They always talk about De'Aaron Fox and John Wall and Westbrook. Ish Smith is right up there with them, man. I'd probably say he's the top 5 fastest player in the league. This dude can get up on the court, and no matter what, if you get him to a young team that wants to run a transition, he's going to be good. But, the problem with him, he's a liability on defense. He tries, but he's just too small. So, I don't know. He's really just a change the tempo kind of player. I won't be mad if we re-sign him, but, I really want to see the young people play a little bit more and develop that. So that way it's better for the future. It might be worse for right now. We might lose, momentum or something. But all the young talent's got a lot of potential. I want to see them play, man. Yeah, Luke should be starting, but man, he's got to show up, man. He's got to improve. He's got to improve. He's not perfect right now. He's got a lot of work to do, but if he gets confidence in himself and he gets confidence in that shot, he's going to be a shooter. Yeah, we should have got Kevin Porter Jr. I was gonna make a video talking about the Pistons made a mistake, but if you want to talk about it right now, we could talk about it right now. Personally, I think the Pistons goofed up, man. anytime you have a guy on your watch list at 15 and they fall 15 spots to 30 and they're still on the board, why do you not take that guy? You know, he's who I wanted in the draft. Even if he turns out to be a bust, he was on your radar at 15. You really didn't. You got John Lure for him, man. Who cares? Dwayne Casey can work with young guys and make them better. I don't know, man. I don't know. That one baffled me, man. That one baffled me. I don't get it, but Stefanski and Dwayne Casey got a plan. So obviously they seen something in him that they didn't like. I was surprised they didn't go after Bull or KPJ. Either one of those guys would have been fine with me, man. But man, I don't know what they were doing there. I really don't. Those two names should stick out. I like Bone, man. I think Bone's gonna be all right. But you got McQuaid, you got Shaviv, Bruce Brown, Kyrie Thomas, both those guys. So I mean, it should be. Oh, and Boatwright. He's gonna be there too. I heard that the Lakers just wanted a second round pick for Wagner, and I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat. I liked Wagner. Wagner stood out to me in Michigan. I think the guy's got a lot of potential, man. I really do. I don't think he's making that much money. I think Michigan fans would go crazy if we had McQuaid and Wagner on the same team. That's a weird mix, but you know it's doable, man. I like Wagner. I really do. I like his game. I didn't even know Emmanuel Mudiay was a free agent. I'd rather have Derrick Rose or Seth Curry over him, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't even think the Knicks were starting him. Now, granted, they did have Dennis Smith Jr., but Moutier's been passed around so much already. I don't know. I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather have D Rose or Seth, to be honest with you. No matter what Ed Stefanski is going to do, as long as he does not make a move for a Josh Smith or overpay for mediocre talent like Stan Van Gundy, I think he'll be all right. But speaking of overpaying for not very good players, did you guys watch the Big Three last night? Josh Smith made his return to Detroit, and let's just say he got booed out of the building. I think that's why most people went there, to be honest with you, is the boom. But not very long into the game, he got into a fight and got ejected. So I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, Pistons signed McQuaid right after the draft. I didn't even see it. I woke up and all the Michigan people that I follow on Twitter were like, "Well, just because he played against your rival school, now he's on your team, you can't boo him still." So it happened overnight. I didn't really even see it, right away. I was like, "Who are they talking about?" I had to go do some digging, but yeah, they signed McQuaid, which I don't know what their plan for him is. If he's going to stick around right away or go to the G League. But I don't know if he's going to make the roster right off the bat. I think that he's going to have to ball in the Summer League to make it, and if not, he's probably going to the Grand Rapids Drive. It's not a bad pickup, though. It's a good gamble. Again, though, I think he can shoot right away, but I don't know. We will have to see. Alright, guys, I gotta give him a shout out because he is in the chat. He did show up. But that guy named Overnight Hectic, he is balling right now, guys. He made a video a few months ago playing NBA 2K, against Darius Slay, and now he is editing a video where he played Jason Tatum. So if you guys want to see him keep balling out against NBA and NFL superstars, be sure to check him out. Yeah, I just don't know how well they're how soon they're going to incorporate him. We got a bunch of young talent this offseason. A bunch of young talent. So, you know, it's going to create a fight for rotation minutes because, you know, we don't have enough players right now for a rotation, like a legit rotation, like locked in stone. They're all going to be fighting for either bench minutes, starting minutes, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see. What's going on, Devin? Happy Sunday to you, man. Man, we've been live for 45 minutes already. I don't know about you guys, but you guys make time fly. You guys definitely make time fly. I don't know how many of you guys seen it yesterday. I'd say quite a few of you since it's got over. Let's see. I don't want to brag or nothing, but I'm going to brag. So, 1.3 thousand views on yesterday's video. 69 likes, giggity. But I wanted to take this time while we're waiting for more people to show up in the chat to just thank you guys for everything. You know, we just hit 1,700 subscribers. Crazy. We're already halfway to 1,800. My main goal is to reach 2,000 before the summer. But at this rate, I might have to set the bar a little bit higher. But you guys have been showing nothing but a bunch of support to not only me, but to all of DSA. That Pistons center court draft video, while we were live, was insane. You guys were crazy supportive. Crazy supportive with Pistons center court. Not only to center court, but to me as well. My Sekou video almost has 200 likes. Almost 7,000 views. It's crazy, man. Crazy, 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 crazy. I can't believe that you guys are this supportive, man. Never thought in a million years that I would be in the position that I am now, getting a little bit of money, not a whole lot, to talk about the sports and the teams that I love. So it's crazy. I'm glad you guys like everything that I'm doing right now. I can't thank you guys enough. This has been awesome. It's Detroit versus everybody, man. The thing that I like about it the most, there is a couple of them, but for the most part, everyone who talks Detroit sports, for the most part, there is a few of them. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to start anything, but, you know, main people from DVE and DSA, we all get along. We all want each other to do well. You know, I got to shout out Everything King because he is the top dog in this game. You know, he wants everyone to do well. You know, that's the goal for DSA, is to not only, you know, compete with people like 97.1, but to help our own and help the smaller channels grow. Because, you know, there are people out there who make great content, but they don't get the views. And we're trying to help put a platform out there. That's why we do Center Court and the Round Table, so that way you guys can see everyone's viewpoints. Because there are people out there who do bring a different view on what's happening with Detroit sports, and we got a good mix of guys, man. So I'm thankful for you guys. I'm happy to be part of this Detroit sports movement. It's only the beginning, guys. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Excuse me. Isaiah Thomas, I don't mind it. Again, I don't know how healthy he's going to be. It sounds like that hips injury is pretty serious, but he could be our sixth man. He could be the guy we give to just go get a bucket. So, I mean, there's potential for him to fit here. I would like to have another Isaiah Thomas in Detroit, but, you know, I'm not sure what he's going to want. I know he said he wanted to get close to that Boston money. I don't think anyone's going to pay him for it. I think he got like the league minimum last year with Denver and barely played. I'm not sure how healthy he is. Obviously, his defense is garbage, but the dude at one point in time was averaging 30 points a game. Don't know if he can get back to that, but I don't know. Mike Valeni is a big time cancer. Yeah, I can't read that one out loud because I am monetized and I'm gonna try and get this taken down. But yeah, you're absolutely right. F that guy, man. That dude's a clown. I don't see. Now I'm not sure who owns 97.1. I'm not sure who makes all the big decisions of hiring people, but you hired a Boston Celtics fan and a New York Giants fan. Now those aren't different people. That's the same Mike Valeni. How can you root for Boston and New York? That doesn't make any sense to me. So not only do you not hire a guy who watches Detroit sports, you get a guy who talks trash to them because New York people and Boston people do not like Detroit sports teams. That's all. That's the main reason he talks trash about them, is because he grew up not liking them. You know, he grew up watching Larry Bird and the Celtics, and eventually the Pistons started whooping them. You know, those are some of the greatest games in NBA history. But you know, he won't credit the Pistons when they do something good. He won't credit the Lions when they do something good. The closest thing I heard him compliment the Lions was when we traded for Snacks for a third-round draft pick. And the only reason he credited the Lions because he was going off on the Giants. And now that the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, he says he's not a fan no more. Like, come on, dude. The Lions went 0-16, and I had them tatted on my arm. He's just a bandwagon, man. I'm not sure what the plan for the Pistons is free agency. You know, they have a couple options. Okay, they got roughly around $13 to $15 million after the money trade, but they can either go after a guy for like a 1-year deal, and he could be like a solid player. I'm thinking like a Boban Bogdanovic, or you know they can go for a bunch of mediocre talent for like $2 to $3 million to fill up some holes. I believe Dwayne Casey and Stefanski have a plan, at least for getting more money. So they have someone that they're eyeing. I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, you're right. He's a clown, man. He's a clown, Nick. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm so proud of Greg Kelser because you know Greg Kelser, you know he's not the most entertaining announcer or the most exciting, but he's got all my respect for throwing that shade at 97.1. I think that was right before the playoff time. You know, he just called him out for doubting, and that's the thing, man. You know, they're always negative, always. The only one I don't mind watching is Gator and whoever the other guy is. You know, they're okay. You know, they're not great, but you can't throw shade at your teams all the time. It happens, okay? I get frustrated with the Pistons. I get frustrated with the Lions. I'm frustrated with the Tigers right now. You know, I think the Wings are going to be doing fine because they got Steve Eiserman back. But it happens. You know, you're not a fan if your emotions don't change. But you can't constantly bash your teams. It doesn't. And then when they win, you're like, oh yeah, I seen this coming. No, I guarantee you, dude. If the Lions make the playoffs, they're gonna play. Oh, they're gonna be out. If they somehow win a playoff game, they're like, that was just a fluke. They're not gonna win the next one. Like the Lions have not won a playoff game since the '90s, and if they do somehow get a playoff win, I don't know what 97.1 is gonna do. Do not know what they're going to do. Yeah, Josh Smith, for you guys who don't know, is playing in the Big Three now. That's the Ice Cube League. It's a very cool and fun league. If you have not watched it, check it out. It's very entertaining. They have a bunch of older NBA superstars and I guess good role players. But they come out there and they ball. They have a 4-point shot. It's only half court. Very fun. Check it out. But they added 2 new teams this year. One had Lamar Odom. The other one had Josh Smith on it. Josh Smith and Will Bynum, I do believe. But nonetheless, their very first game was in Detroit. Now, Josh Smith made his return to Detroit. Everybody, from what I've seen on Twitter, booed this man. And then very early into the game, he got into a fight and got kicked out, and they booed him even more. So he's out. He came in, came out, and came back in and came back out. You guys may be proud for booing him. Wish I could have been there. But I forgot that was yesterday. It just depends on how efficient he's going to be. I'm not sure. There's always one player in the 3-point shot. You're like, who's this guy? That could be very well Luke Kennard. But the thing that he has to do is be effective. Seth Curry was in it last year, I do believe, or it was the year before, and he didn't really shoot a bunch of them, but he was one of the most efficient 3-point shooters in the league. So I think if Luke starts, there's a good possibility. Joe Harris was in it last year, and that dude balled out, man. You're right. You're absolutely right there. The Pistons, throughout the years, of championship contenders, and I kind of made the comparison with Grant Hill's era. Isaiah Thomas and Chauncey Billups, man. Those two guys were the leaders of those teams. Chauncey might not have been the best player on the team, but he was the best leader. Isaiah Thomas was the best player and the best leader, and they took that team and they carried them. Not necessarily through stats, but they always kept their other teammates' heads up. They told them where to be. They got them motivated. Chauncey Billups looked to get Ben Wallace into the game very, very early because Ben Wallace wasn't a scorer. So he always looked to get him an easy dunk or layup right off the bat just to get his confidence going. So that way he'd be more energetic on defense. So Reggie Jackson's not that guy. And they want Blake to be the point forward, but he's not that guy compared to Isaiah Thomas or Chauncey Billups. I'm not sure who that guy is going to be. Not very many people knew who Chauncey Billups was when we got him. Not very many people knew who Rip Hamilton or Ben Wallace were when we got him. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to do the exact same thing that they did, because what the 04 Pistons did was remarkable. Really, the only big name that they had was Rasheed Wallace. He was an all-star in Portland. So we have good pieces to build around, but you're right. You're absolutely right. We're missing that point guard. And I think if we do get that point guard, we could elevate our game to the next level. We're still missing, the small forward is uncertain. I'm not sure if we're going to re-sign Tony Snell when his contract's up next season. I have to see how well he's going to play. But there's a lot of question marks with this team going into the offseason. And, they're trying their best to fill those holes. But they're in a hole. Stan Van Gundy hurt this team. Joe Dumars hurt this team. And Stefanski's doing his best job to dig himself out of it, but there's only so much you can do when you're limited. So they're doing as best as they can. That's all I got. They have a long way to go, but they're doing the best they can. You're absolutely right. Jose Calderon and Zaza were just veteran minimums because we didn't have any money to offer. I would have liked to have Vince Carter last year, but this is his last season, so I think he should go back to Toronto. The round table for NFL is Tuesday and Thursday, I do believe. I'm not sure whose channels those are going to be on. And then Pistons Standard Court will be on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I believe it's going to be on mine. I do believe. I do not know, but Wednesday morning, I'll do that post to let you guys know who is going to be on, but it's either going to be me or Troxels. But I think he said since we did the draft on his channel that this Wednesday will be on mine, but don't hold me to that. I'll let you guys know. I'll make a video Monday, or not Monday, but Wednesday morning, whatever I talk about that day, and I will know by then, so be sure to check that out. He was Mr. Fourth Quarter, but they never have him in the fourth quarter anymore. The only thing about Reggie Jackson that I don't like that they're not using is the pick and roll game. I feel like I talk about this every time. That floater that he's got is deadly. Him and Andre have good chemistry in the pick and roll, but they never do it. I don't understand. Reggie Jackson, was averaging on 18 points with the pick and roll. They don't use him right. If they use him right, he'd be a lot more effective. I hope they're not resigning Zaza. God, I hope not. And if they do, he better sit on the bench. He might be taking John Lewar's spot because that bench spot's wide open. Someone's got to hand out Gatorade and towels to everybody. I don't know if we're gonna start Sekou right away. I would be surprised if he gets in the rotation right away. The dude's only 18, very young player. I imagine his whole world changed coming in from France to Detroit. But he's got a lot of support right now. Yesterday at Big Three, if you're down on Twitter, get on Twitter. A lot of guys seen Sekou. He was there at the Big Three game and gave him a big standing ovation, and he just had a big old grin on his face. So I mean, he's already got the fans behind him. I think he's happy to be here. He's already working on his game. He's already rocking the Detroit Pistons gear. I think it's safe to say the Pistons got a steal, man. I've loved everything that I've seen from this guy right away. But just the big question is, how soon are we going to see him? Well, obviously we're going to see him in the Summer League now. But I'm not sure. I'm talking about 82 games in the regular season. I'm not sure how much we're going to see him. If he does play, it probably won't be until like the mid-season point. But he might be one of those guys who play in the Summer League and then have a two-way contract and go from the G League to the roster. So I don't know. You're right, yeah. Not only for Sekou, I think the Summer League's going to be big for a lot of the other guards that we have. So this Summer League's not only going to be entertaining to watch, it's going to be important for those players. Almost every single one of them needs to play well. I think that it's different from most Summer League teams, because most Summer League teams will really only have like one, maybe two, three at the most guys that they really want to see. But the Pistons got at least 5 or 6 that are having something to prove. So this is going to be a little bit different, man. This is going to be fun. It's going to be absolutely fun to watch. Cannot wait. Oh, we got some bring back Wayne chants in the chat. Well, Bruce didn't start, right? But did he start the first game? I can't remember. Bruce shouldn't have started right away. Bruce was not ready to start. Bruce has got a ton of talent defensively. But the problem with him is they play him a lot at the 3, and he's too small for the 3. He's going to be a good defensive 2, maybe if they turn him into a point guard, maybe a good 1 guard. But he needs a shot. If Bruce Brown gets a shot, he will be dangerous. Now, I'm not talking he needs to be Kevin Durant or anything out there. But let's say, since we talked about Seth Curry, if you give him Seth Curry's shooting ability, this dude's going to take off, man. Oh, Glenn Robinson. Yikes, that was a big whoops. Talk about a disappointment. I thought Glenn Robinson was going to do well for us, man. I was wrong. I still haven't heard anything that they shut down his player option yet. I hope they at least incorporate Sekou into the bench rotation. I'd love to see him and Thon play together. So, yeah, the key word there is might, Devin, though. I think that, Dwayne Casey's patient. The Pistons are in a weird spot. They're in a rebuilding stage, but at the same time competing. They have a ton of young talent right now. I'm not sure how we got all this young talent. It's kind of incredible to see this. But the Pistons have some good players, some proven players, and a lot of unproven players. So, really minutes are up for grabs. So, anyone can play. I certainly hope Kyrie gets some playing time this year. Certainly hope so. I don't know why he didn't play a lot last season. I think he's better than Bruce Brown. And Bruce Brown got all the minutes. The thing that really made me mad with Glenn Robinson was he was a good defender and he let everyone bully him. I've never seen someone miss so many open threes, open layups, open dunks. It was just a mess. If he would have just averaged 8 points off the bench, I would have been happy. That's not much. I don't know because I think. No, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. I think he still got 2 years overseas before he's going to come over here. So I don't know. I don't know much about him. But, who knows? Anything is possible. Dwayne Casey's had a lot of success with foreign players, so it's possible. Well, Glenn Robinson was cheaper. He does have a team option for $4.5 million. I certainly hope we do not pick that up because he's not worth it. If we can re-sign him for the minimum, I have no problem with that because the dude does have potential and he is still a young player. But yeah, he's mediocre. I'm not overpaying for mediocre talent, and I think that the Pistons have learned from that. Not to mention, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but those contracts for Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva were terrible. So you have to learn from the mistakes of the Pistons over the years, and I think Dwayne Casey and Ed Stefanski realize that, and they're not going to overpay for anybody. Excuse me. Pretty much everyone outside of Luke, Reggie Jackson, and Blake Griffin were bad in the playoffs. You're right. He took a lot of minutes from young guys, and then they didn't play him a lot. I don't get it. Fully loaded. You only watch my videos most of every day. I appreciate it, man. I certainly do appreciate it. You guys showed me a lot of love. I'm trying to reciprocate it. I'm trying to go live at least. I don't really count Piston Center Court because, I don't really get a lot of chance to talk to you guys and get your viewpoints on it. But I'm trying to go live at least once a week so I can get your thoughts and concerns. I read almost every comment on all my videos just to see what you guys are feeling about. I like talking to you guys because, you guys look at, some of you guys look at it the same way I do, and a lot of you guys have different viewpoints. So a lot of you guys help me, adjust my opinions. I'm not changing my opinions because I'm very strong on what I believe, but you guys have some unique theories, I should say. Well, he did get bullied by him. He did make a couple plays on him, but yeah, Giannis went crazy. Giannis absolutely did. Giannis is a freak. But I think Toronto set the foundation to stop him. They put like 3 guys in the paint. They almost ran a 2-3 zone. It really wasn't a 2-3 zone, but it was they had 3 guys in the paint to stop him, and he couldn't do anything. They made other players in Milwaukee do stuff, and they couldn't. Giannis is going to have to incorporate a jump shot next season to be effective. And if he gets a jump shot, look out because there won't be anyone better in the league. If Giannis does incorporate a jump shot, he will be insane. Who did Ed Davis play for last season? Last time I checked, I want to say he was in Portland, but he'd be a very solid depth move. Him and Seth Curry would be effective. I do agree with you there. I want to say Sekou's going to be the best player in the Summer League. I think it's either going to be him or Shaviv. Oh, look at Owen agrees with me. I mean, Shaviv that 1 year went bananas, dude. Bananas in the Summer League. And was it preseason they played the Warriors? He went shot for shot with Klay Thompson, dude. For my 2K players, it was nothing but green lights. It's gonna be crazy, man. I can't believe we got him. That's a steal, man. Way better than Reggie Bullock. Well, at least his potential's better than Reggie Bullock. You just need to play him. I know he was hurt a lot last season, but man, oh man. You can blame Stan Van Gundy for that one, daughter. Yeah, Stan Van Gundy and Joe Dumars were complete booty. and not the good kind of booty. Let me Google that because I don't know. I want to say they play Croatia. I don't know. I think they play overseas first. But I did see who they were playing. And I don't remember where I saw it at. NBA Summer League schedule released. Looks like July 1st it kicks off. Let me see when the Pistons play. So the Pistons do not play until Friday, July 5th. They play Croatia in Vegas. Now we're in the Vegas League. The Vegas League is much more competitive, I should say, than Orlando. When they got games on ESPN and stuff in the Vegas one. But yeah, we play Croatia. We play the Trailblazers. We play the Pacers. The Sixers. I think that's it. And then I do believe there is a playoff format, depending on how well they do. Bone. I mean, there's an open spot for him on the roster, but I think a lot of these guys like Bone, McQuaid, Boatwright. I don't know exactly if they're gonna make the roster right away. A lot of these guys might go to the G League to start out, but we got a crazy amount of young talent right now. So, like I said, man, training camp. I really shouldn't say, but the training facility for the Pistons, this off-season summer league. These guys have an opportunity to make the rotation and to make the roster. The bench is pretty much wide open. There is a couple of starter spots. I would consider that to be open. So if they can ball out and earn a spot, I think this is going to be one of the most competitive off seasons for the Detroit Pistons in a long time. So, anything is open for them, man. SVG made really, I like the Marcus Morris deal, but he really made two good moves. That was acquiring Tobias Harris and acquiring Blake Griffin. Those are really only two things. I think Stan Van Gundy for getting his Blake. I love Tobias, but Blake is just on a whole nother level. So, Tobias is my dude, man. If he comes back to Detroit, I'd welcome back with open arms. I have nothing but great things for him. But Blake Griffin is just on a whole nother level, man. That name sounds familiar. I'm not sure where I heard Dante Hall from, but that does sound familiar. Alright, guys. I do have to wrap this up by 12, so we got about 45 more minutes. So, any comments, questions, concerns you guys have, let's get them in. What's going on, man? Yeah, he did carry us. He blew out his leg. But yeah, you guys got anything you guys really want to talk about? Let's get them in the chat right now because I do have to end this thing by 12. I did have. I knew what you meant there. I did have Shabib starting, but that was before we drafted Sekou. Ugh. Yeah, that's a good starting five. The thing I like about that, with the exception of Reggie and Luke, that all those guys can switch and guard different positions. I think that's what made Toronto effective, is that they switched everything on pick and rolls. They switched on different people. Like Siakam could guard 1 through 5, and I think that's what we're looking for in Sekou, is that he's going to be able to help switch defensively, and outside of people like Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, those big guys, I don't really think there's going to be too big of a mismatch for him. You know, he's got handles like a guard. You know, he's 6'9", almost 6'10", so he's got the height. I think defensively he's going to help us out a lot more than we think. That would be a pretty nasty pickup for Brooklyn. Well, we're limited to who we're going to sign in free agency because of the salary cap. But this team had potential to be a fourth seed. That's like the ceiling for this team is the fourth seed, and maybe a second round playoff appearance. Uh, right now, their realistic goal should be the sixth seed. They should, I think they set the bar too high last season because they have a lot of bad players. They do, but sixth seed should be their goal. They need to show improvement every year, and moving up two playoff spots may not seem like a big deal, but we have a lot of young talent. Moving up like that is going to be huge for those development. So, yeah, well, we said that about Darko too. I think Darko was like 18 when we got him. We thought he could still grow. I'm not really too concerned about him still growing. He's got a good height on him right now, so I don't. He doesn't need to grow, but if he does, it can only help. Drummond's just weird, man. A lot of the thing about Drummond is the backlash from the fan base is always dogging him. I don't just from me, if a fan base was dogging me, I don't know why you would want to stay there. I think there was a little bit of jealousy there because I seen it firsthand at Game 3. I don't know why I keep rubbing it in, but it was the game that Blake Griffin came back. They all booed Drummond, and they all cheered Blake Griffin. So I mean that's just a little bit of jealousy, maybe. I don't know. I really don't want Drummond to leave because we are better with Drummond than we are without him. Marcus Morris was a great leader, and you could see that when we had him. Was we were a better defensive team. He embodied what it was to be the Detroit Pistons. I'd love to have him come back. I think he really mixed it up in France, or I should say Paris, wherever he came from. Um, I think right now it's whatever we're gonna play him. If he wants to start, or if he's going to start, he'll probably play small forward. But it's good. He's really a positionless player. He can play wherever you want him to play. I think it was a great pickup. I think the guy's got a ton of potential. Again, though, I'm not sure if Bone's going to make the team or if he's going to go to the G League right away because we got a lot of players. Yeah, he did when he first came in the league. I'll never forget that. I think he leaked some of her dirty pictures too. I think he did. I bet she goofed up on that one because that dude is rich. Ben Wallace was way smaller. Obviously, a way better defensive player. Drummond is a better rebounder and a better offensive player than Big Ben. But Big Ben wasn't a forcer. Both are great players, just play different styles. It was pretty insane. I was so proud of everyone there, man. That was fun. I hope we go back to the playoffs next season because I want to go. That was insane. I think we roughly have between 13 million and 15 million with the trade. Um, but I'm incorporating that from the $9 million league minimum that we had. I'm not sure how much that's affected by Tony Snell's contract, so I don't know. I think Dre's gonna be motivated by that. To be honest with you, he did have a bad series. He did play like garbage. Um, the fans booed him, I think that's all adding chips on his shoulder to have a great, great season. I don't think McQuaid's going to make the team yet. Again, I think that's going to be a G League talent right away, but over the years he might develop. I don't know. Um, I don't know, man. Dwayne Casey has his way with young people, so I don't know. Outside of Sekou, I'm not sure in the G League who is going to be, not in the G League, but the Summer League and the G League, all those guys. I'm not sure who's going to be officially in the rotation. Well, no, that's not true. Drummond works out every day. He might not post it, but all NBA players make songs now. It's not just Drummond. Damian Lillard does it. Damian Lillard and Andre are two of the biggest ones, and you can't tell me that Damian Lillard isn't improving every year. Damian Lillard is a monster. Andre Drummond works out every single day. He doesn't waste time. So I mean that's not true. I don't think he's going to start right away. He should, but I think he's going to be fighting for rotation minutes because he's only 18, man. He's coming over from overseas. It's a big change, different scenery. I'm not sure how well he's going to adjust to it right away, but the dude's going to be a monster. We stole him. Yeah, thanks for rubbing that one in, Mike. Thanks for having that one rubbed in my face. You know what, though? At the time, trading him for Brandon Jennings, it didn't seem like a bad deal. But how wrong it was. And that's why you don't do moves for the now. Everyone wants to win now. It always hurts. Look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn traded a few years ago. They traded for the Bostons. They traded for Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry. They gave up a lot of draft picks. And they, got to the second round? You don't do moves for the win now. That hurt them for the long haul. It's going to be between Shaviv, Bruce Brown, and Kyrie Thomas. Whoever they want to make the point guard out of those three, that's going to more than likely be the backup. Yeah, that is that. I like that train of thought, and I think that's just showing Drummond's improvement as a leader. Drummond's always taken on the young guys. He did let Stanley Johnson live at his house when Stanley first came in the league. Drummond's a good player. He's a good teammate. I do find it a little bit odd that Blake Griffin went to France after we drafted that guy, but I really haven't seen much on Twitter about it. Usually guys will be like, "Oh, welcome to the team, man." I haven't seen much about it. So far, it's only been Andre Drummond and Chauncey Billups. That would be an underrated move. I probably wouldn't be crazy about it, but it wouldn't be terrible. Um, the thing about Drummond though, man, is he's not a ball dominant center. Like the thing I want to see from him is a post move. Someone you can dump him the ball and he can go get a bucket. He doesn't have that move, and that is a problem for him. But Drummond needs the pick and roll to be effective. If they would have ran that a little bit more against Milwaukee, he would have been a lot more engaged. That's why I made the comparison to him and Ben Wallace. That's why Chauncey Billups always gave Ben the first couple buckets because Ben wasn't very good at offense. Towards the end of Ben's career, he added that ugly looking jump shot, but they need to give Drummond the ball early in the game because if you get him an open dunk right away, he's going to be more involved. And when he's involved offensively, he's involved defensively. And when he's involved defensively, the talent is on full display. When he's engaged in the game, oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. The dude can average 2 blocks and 2 steals a game, no problem. I think he was at 1.5 and 1.8. So, I mean, he's close. He's just a different style defender. But they need to give him the ball early on in the game to get him engaged. Because they don't run plays for him. A lot of the offensive looks he gets are off offensive rebounds. The only thing I don't like about his offensive rebounding game is the volleyball tapping. Grab the ball, come down, and dunk it on somebody. I think he's still losing weight. I think he's trying to get more in shape and just dunking on people. Pat McCall is the LeGarrette Blount of the NBA. Everyone who signs him wins the championship. I don't even know if he's that good. I don't even know how good he is. I don't even know if I've seen him on the court. To be honest with you, but everyone knows who he is. That's kind of crazy though. In the league 3 years and got 3 rings. That is kind of crazy, man. He's already got as many rings as LeBron. That's crazy. All right, boys, we're in the half-hour stretch here. Get your questions in, thoughts, comments, concerns, because we are ending this at 12 sharp. To go to B-Dubs. I didn't say he was scared. I mean, Drummond has everything you look for in an NBA big man. He just needs. I don't want to say help to unlock it, because he's been in the league for 7 years, but he is only 25. He is still young. He's been in the playoffs twice now. That has to count. He's had 8 games in the playoffs, so he's been there. He knows what it's like. It doesn't help that he gets the best team in the West. Oh, okay. I got confused. But he needs to. They need to help him out, because, man, if you have to play Milwaukee again, I say they're the first. I don't know who's going to be the first this season. I got to see how free agency can play out, because I don't want to say that they're going to be the first again, because before last season we all said that Boston and Philly were going to be the two, and then it was Milwaukee and Toronto. But regardless, if we play the first seed again, it's not going to be in our favor. I would have much rather been the 7th seed and play Toronto. We match up so much better against Toronto. I'm not saying that we would have beat them, but Dwayne Casey knows that team inside and out. So I don't know. They need to do better than the 8th seed. I think the realistic goal should be the 6th seed, regardless of injuries or anything like that. Right now, and it's changing week to week depending on how we get. But it's going to be Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Tony Snell, Blake, and Dre. I'm not saying that's going to be the one for all 82 games. I think they're going to slowly incorporate Shaviv into. They're trying to make him a point guard. Our bench should be not. All 3 of these guys can play the same positions. So Shaviv, Kyrie, and Bruce can all play 1 through 3, and then Sekou and Thon Maker should be our backups. Now, I would love them to see work Sekou into the starting lineup, but I'm not sure how fast they want to incorporate him. So just give him some time. He's going to be a player down 2-3 years down the road, where you're going to be watching him start. The cool thing about that draft pick, about Sekou, is that I think he's going to have a lot more opportunities. I think they're going to give Blake Griffin a lot more load management this season, and you can really showcase Sekou and pair him up with Andre Drummond, because I did not like watching Thon Maker and Drummond pair up together. I really didn't. They did that a few times this season. They did it in the playoffs. I did not like it at all. Now, regardless, most of the time it was against Milwaukee, and Milwaukee just bent us over and had their way with us. I would much rather see Sekou and Drummond pair up, because it's more floor spacing that way. But I have loved what I've seen from Thon Maker. Thonmaker has been in the gym almost every single day, working on his 3-point shooting, working on his post game, working at attacking the hoop. So I think that we have the right group of guys to establish the working every day, going to work. So not calling them the going to work Pistons. Let's put some credit on those guys, but they're slowly coming along. I was excited too, Pen Bob Sponge. Absolute steal. They said give him 3 to 4 years, which that's what it took Giannis to become Giannis. The only thing I was disappointed about not drafting KPJ was he was on our radar at 15, and he fell all the way down to 30. So I even say he's a bust. Getting him at 30, it's a steal because you had him at 15. He fell 15 spots to where you wanted him to be. You know, the guy's got a lot of potential. They do question his motor and his work ethic, but the talent's there. Again, though, if we got him, who says he plays right away? I don't know. The Pistons are being patient. They're not making moves to win now. They're making good quality moves, so I'm not sure how soon any of these young guys are going to play. I think it's time for Kyrie, Bruce Brown, and Shavib to at least get some sort of minutes in the rotation. Not saying they need to start, but you have to incorporate those guys. You look at them as low lights. That's kind of mean, man. I only went to one. That was game 3. So I don't know. I don't know if I heard you saying that. I heard a lot of guys yell, "Drummond sucks." Yeah, I can't believe that the Nets are gonna not pick up his player option. That's crazy. Or was it his team option? Whatever. Dude, he's been balling out for him the last few years. Yeah, Shavib and Kyrie Thomas should be balling out the summer league, man. Uh, just they're not going to move Drummond. That is Tom Gorge's dude. The only time they're going to move him is it's going to be around the trade deadline. If he's just not going to want to opt into his player contract, and he's not going to re-sign or anything like that, then unfortunately, and I do not want this to happen. Don't get that twisted. I do not want to trade Andre Drummond, but if he does not want to be here and he's going to opt out, you better get something in return for him. But, you know, who knows, man? Who knows if he even wants out? There's only one person who knows that if he wants out or not, and that's Andre Drummond. Oh, I was just about to say that. I do not like that. Clint Capella is not on Drummond's level. Drummond and Blake Griffin always go off against the Rockets. They always play very well against them. Clint Capella only does well because they have James Harden and Chris Paul. If you bring him here, his offensive game is gone. Now he might get 2 to 3 blocks a game, but his offense is. I don't want Capella. Minute wise, I do not know. It's going to depend on how much they want to play Kyrie Thomas, Bruce Brown, and Shavib, and how soon they want to incorporate Sekou. I don't know. All I know is he's probably going to be starting more likely than not to start the season off. I don't like Capella at all. I don't really know. You know, I would take DeMarcus Cousins when healthy. Um, Embiid, Jokic. Those are really the only guys I would probably take over Drummond. Right now, it looks like Drummond's going to be a great mentor for him. That's crazy to think about. No play calls and averages 16 and what? He I think he averaged 16 and 16. That's crazy. It's unheard of, dude. I understand both sides of it. I understand people not fully supporting Drummond. Um, but at the same time, if you want that player gone, okay, you can't root for them when they do good. You can't be that bandwagon fan and root for them while they're doing good. That one year he was getting like 20 games right off the bat. They were comparing him to Wilt Chamberlain. Like no one ever got off that how to start since Wilt Chamberlain. I'm not sure. I want to say that was like 2016 or 2017. And then they're all loving him. Like, oh, I'm so glad we got this guy. And then, he has a couple bad games and they're all like, trade him, he's garbage. You can't do that. You either want him or you don't. You can't take the good and block out the bad. No one's perfect, man. I mean, they wouldn't be my top priority. They wouldn't be bad ones. I think Darren Collison can still start in the league, but I don't know. I don't know. Didn't Corey Joseph used to play in Toronto with Dwayne Casey? We do need a different point guard. Not knocking Reggie. Love Reggie. Love him to death. Um, but he just hasn't been the same since Stan Van Gundy left. He's been dealing with injuries. Now, I am curious for Reggie Jackson. This is one of his first offseasons fully healthy. And you've seen that with Blake Griffin last year. Blake Griffin had an offseason for the first time last year and had career-high numbers. Reggie Jackson's going into that same stage. So I'm very curious to keep my eye open for that one. To quote 313 JMO, he thinks Reggie is a seventh man. So, his words, not mine. All right, we got about 19 more minutes, guys. Get your questions in. Or super chats. Or comments. Or super chats. Or concerns. Or super chats. We got to shout out 2K Plays for last week being the only guy who donated. He was in the video last night. He will be in the video probably Monday until we go live again. It'd be a ton better. Now, I'm just saying, like, a Ricky Rubio guy who's a pass force, Dre would have averaged 20 to 24 points, no problem. Given a true point guard like that. No question. I mean, Drummond has potential to average 20-20. You know how Westbrook averaged a triple-double? Like, never been heard of it before since Oscar Robertson? Drummond has potential to average 20 and 20 through the whole season. I heard that Jeff Green is a very realistic option for the Pistons, that they are interested in him. I don't know if we should be happy about that or not. The guy does have glimpses of being good. I think he might be a little bit of an upgrade over Glenn Robinson. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure if we should be happy about that or not. You'd be surprised. Anyone could turn into a bandwagon fan. I mean, Drake had Steph Curry tatted on his arm, dude. Drake is a bandwagon fan. But I got all of our teams tatted on my arm. So I ain't going anywhere. That 2016 team was awesome. I miss that team. I wish we would have kept the 30th pick and took Kevin Porter Jr. or Bull, but rather than that, I think the Pistons nailed the draft. Yeah, I was about to. I wanted to say he had Kevin Durant, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, Drake's something else, man. Certainly is something else. I wouldn't be so mad if they were bust, but when they fall that far, who cares? You know, Porter might have been a bust, but when you had him on your board at 15 and he falls to 30, who really cares? You know, like I would have been okay if we took him at 30. He would have been a bust rather than the 15. Anyone in the second round that falls second round can't really be a bust. I mean, it would have been a gamble. What Bull went high 30s. I wouldn't have been mad. Wouldn't have been mad. I think we hit a home run with Sekou. I really honestly believe that. I mean, anyone you take late in the first round or early second round, they're not going to really start right away. It's kind of insane that we started Bruce Brown, but Bruce Brown didn't have a jump shot. We got to rework his jump shot. I mean, there's a lot of work you have to do with second round guys. They're investments. Um, Kevin Porter does have a chance to be really good. Now he does have a chance to not. I mean, it's all right. I understand passing on Bobo. I do. Um, you know, anytime you're that tall and that skinny, you're gonna have problems. So I understand that one falling. We've been talking about trading for Evan Fournier for years. I ain't buying into it. They've been talking about trading Reggie Jackson for him for like 3 to 4 years now. I ain't buying it. I'm trying to avoid players that rock the man bun. All right, so I think it's time to do some plugging here. So we've been live for almost 2 hours. Been a great turnout, great support from you guys. I appreciate it. Instagram and Twitter links are in the description. Be sure to check both of those guys out. Follow me there. I am more active on Twitter than I am Instagram. But all DSA members are in the description as well. If you have not checked all of them out, most of them cover Detroit Lions football. But there are some of us who cover both of them. So be sure to check all of those guys out. We are all entertaining. We are all funny. We are all smart. We all know what we are talking about. Micro Mike has been doing incredible work over at his channel, doing trailers and stuff like that for DSA. Really incredible. If you guys have not seen those, check those out. They are really cool. They are funny. They are really entertaining. So be sure to check him out. You're going to want to check out 313 JMO and Troxel. Those are really the main people that do Piston Center Court. But we're all important. You want to check out Nomis, Carl, Gorilla Iron Blitz, and Luke G are the two main ones for the roundtable. But Noble is on his channel. You want to check all these guys out, man. We all bring something different to the table. We all have different viewpoints on Detroit sports. But at the end of the day, we're all entertaining and fun to watch. So you want to check everybody out in the description. Yeah, that's what really draws me to him is he's been playing in the pros overseas for since he was 15, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I wish I could go live all day and talk to you guys because I've had a blast. But I do have some stuff to do today. I am going to B-dubs. I got to top in the shower and get ready for that one. Got to finish weed whacking my work, my lawn. So I appreciate you guys for joining me. This was awesome. Had fun. Detroit basketball to end it out. What's going on? What's going on, man? What's going on, Mondo? So thank you guys for joining us. Had so much fun. That's all I got for you guys, man. See you guys next week as the upload streak continues. Which we should just change it from the upload streak to daily content because, frankly, that's what it is. So hopefully we got some good news next week. But probably more rumors. So I'll break them down for you guys. But let's leave on the intro. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Are you ready?